I will call this work session of the San Marcos City Council to order. It is 3 o'clock. Today is March 21st of 2023. Mr. Vino, let's call the roll.
Mr. Prather. Mr. Scott.
Here.
Mr. Gleason.
Here.
Mayor Houston.
Here.
Ms. Garza. Mr. Gonzalez.
Here.
Mr. Mendoza.
Here.
We have a quorum present.
All right, citizen comment time period. I understand we have Ms. Capoletta is online with us.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Capoletta, 3 minutes is yours.
Good evening. My name is Professor Lisa Marie Capoletta. I live at 1322 Belvin. They call me LMC. I want to thank you guys for your work in the last 3 o'clock session, standing by local nonprofits and making sure those in need in our community are receiving their services. Mr. Mendoza, you win MVP of that meeting. And Mayor, you're MVP in my heart right now for some of the good work you're doing with the code. I also want to thank Amanda. I've been sending a lot of questions, and she's quicker than Doc Holiday when it comes to answering those questions, and I have a lot of respect for Amanda. I think she's the best city planning director that we have. And I also want to thank SMPD. We had a little situation in my neighborhood and they came out, and I'm a big fan of SMPD, and I appreciate they're maintaining our safety and what they did for some concerns that many of the neighbors had last night. Now, I would like for you, and Mayor, you are welcome to interrupt me if I'm wrong in this instance, but my understanding from attending all those meetings with the situation of the deal with the U-Haul, the initial agreements that they had was that the U-Haul folks were gonna fix those lines. And I know there's that man who waited there forever in that meeting, and he was talking about the sewage problem. And I'm not sure I'm understanding why we are not, as the city, are not holding U-Haul's feet to the fire to fix those lines. They want it to be annexed. They need to follow through on their promise. You guys should not be getting all the everybody in town's calling me, and I'm like, yo, it's not the city's fault. They're doing their job. It's U-Haul. It seems to me the only one making a dollar bill, in my opinion, is David Sergi. Additionally, I think it also begs the question why the county is not policing the situation to make sure it's not falling in your hands for poor optics for all of your good work. If those people lose their business, we can thank U-Haul for asking the annexation, opening up the Pandora's box, which also begs the question, now the property's devalued and someone may jump on that like nobody's business. You see this behind me? They're sucking the crap out of Capstone Cottage, and they're hauling it across town. And why do we know? Because citizens, watchdogs have been filming it and following them happening it. And I don't understand why the city planners that put blessings over that are not being held accountable. I'm not understanding why the inspectors' feet are not being held to the fire for allowing them to cement all those caves up. And I know that's unequivocal because I talked to the Edwards Underwater District when that happened years ago, and that's why we were having the problem of the water coming down Bishop. Additionally, I think they need to be shut down. If we're going to shut down the businesses next to U-Haul, we need to shut down this big daddy thing. And I think any elected official who voted for Capstone Cottages, aka the Bowie Track, we need to drop a dime and let them know this is what you've done. There are kids living in there, they're sucking out human waste, and we know where they're taking it because we have the film footage. And I've kept quiet about it. You guys know me. It's hard for me to keep my trap shut when I want to send out a rant. Thank you for your time, and God bless San Marcos.
Mr. Vino, is Ms. Capoletta our only citizen comment today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then we will move on to item 1.
Executive session in accordance with the following. A, section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney to receive advice of legal counsel regarding pending litigation, to wit, John Kelly versus City of San Marcos, John Ducote, Andrew Weisener, Basil Pierce, and John Does. B, section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code, personnel matters, to discuss the duties of the city manager related to the San Marcos Professional Firefighters Association meet and confer process.
Looking for a motion? Hold on, you gotta have your microphones on if you want to make a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Scott.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Gleason. Let's vote on motion to go into executive session. Mr. Vino?
All right, Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mayor Houston.
Aye.
Ms. Garza. Mr. Gleason.
Aye.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Aye.
Mr. Mendoza.
Aye.
Mr. Prather is absent. Okay.
All right, then we will go into executive session at 3:05. Council, we're going to the We have returned from our executive session. We concluded that at 4:38. We now have question and answer session with press and public on items related to this agenda. Ms. Trevino, do we have anyone signed up?
No, ma'am.
Seeing no one in chambers, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
I'll give that one to Mr. Gleason. Looking for a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mendoza. Mr. Trevino, let's see who wants to close this meeting out.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Gleason?
Aye.
Mayor Houston?
Aye.
Ms. Garza? Aye. Mr. Gonzalez?
Aye.
Mr. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mr. Prather?
Aye.
And Mr. Scott?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
All right, so we are adjourned at 4:39. If you would be back in your seats at 5:55.